How's it going, guys? And welcome to your Smackdown review. Well, this show right here. Wow. You want to talk about a show that really, if you just wanted to make a statement about people just not caring, I've talked about at the MSG show a few weeks back and just how good that was, and they showed a semblance of what could be, how great they could be if they just, tried and didn't book the show full of nonsense and just pure shit. It could actually be pretty good. Who knew? But anyway, you get a show like this tonight where there's some glimmers of greatness, which is pretty common here. I've noticed we say that a lot of times. There's glimmers of hope. There's, little pieces here and there. You got your Seth Rollinses, you got your Roman Reigns'. But then after that, it just kind of all falls apart. So we had a draft, and, it's like we're past the draft already. And do we feel like cataclysmic, an aftermath from it? I mean, are we feeling the aftershocks from the earthquake that was the draft? I mean, are we really feeling like it's 2002 and they just did the draft lottery with Vince McMahon and Ric Flair, and we feel like we're in a whole new world of changes and things are so different and we're seeing it through a whole different lens now? No, it's kind of like, well, that will take effect there after Crown Jewel. We gotta get finished doing the sorts of stuff we have. It's like, no, you should implement those changes now, because what's going on right now, there's no excitement. Instead, you know what we're getting in the meantime? A King of the Ring tournament. But not just a King of the Ring tournament, we're also getting a Queen of the Ring tournament as well, because, they just haven't shoehorned every single possible thing with the women. Hell in a Cell, TLC, you name it. They have to have a women's version of it, to the point where we have to sit through 2-hour-long matches now. We have to have 2 Royal Rumbles, 2 Money in the Banks, 2, sometimes more of everything. And it's gotten completely out of hand. And so now we're getting, I don't know how many other possibilities they could do after the Queen of the Ring tournament. I mean, what are some things? Let me know in the comments that they haven't done yet with the women. A Buried Alive match? Maybe we'll see a casket match with them. I mean, there's so many things that they have done with them now, just so they can say that they've done it and put no thought into it. And the weird thing is about this tournament that we're going to talk about is that everyone in these tournaments has already accomplished something. They've all tried with them. No one in these tournaments is new. They're already established stars, but we'll talk about that as we go on, because let's first get past the first segment. We've got Bianca Belair, Cringy Lynch, and Sasha Banks with another contract signing. How many contract signings have we had between the women in the past few weeks, the past month? And here is a very strange format. We've got Bianca Belair in the ring with the table. And first of all, this table doesn't, it looked like they had some budget cuts on the table, because instead we just get a regular, just a regular table with just a sheet over it. And then we got Sasha Banks standing on top of the announce table. And we got Cringy Lynch over there with her feet up on another table. She's got her own private table. And then it leads to Bianca Belair getting the one up on Cringy Lynch and Sasha Banks. Meanwhile, Sonya Deville and Scrap Heap Adam Pearce are standing on, inside the ring, just looking really stupid. Adam Pearce really has this problem. I told you, he has his mouth open all the time. Oh, and Sonya Deville looks like Gomez Adams with the striped blue suit with the black stripes. Like what kind of a fashion statement is that? she's wearing these, and the thing is, it's like you got Seth Rollins wearing the weird suits, but no, make way for Sonya Deville, because she's got to wear weird suits too. So, I mean, this was really impressive how you had Bianca Belair putting both of them up on her shoulders for the KOD, but she actually just ends up just slamming Becky on top of Sasha. And, I guess that part was okay, but the whole promo part, like, what was going on here where, I'm standing on a table, or I'm up here on the entranceway, on a table. Like, it just felt just so artificial and forced. Like, let's set up the props first, and then we can get to the segment. And what the words that are being exchanged, I mean, is there anything being said here that's new or original? Once again, Cringy Lynch going back to, I beat you in 26 seconds. I beat you in... Stop already. We're repeating the same lines over and over. We get it. We got it. You beat her in 26 seconds. Good. Gotcha. Great. I don't know what can be accomplished by constantly repeating the same lines over and over. But we'll move on. And we've got Rey Mysterio and Dominic in the back. And of course, Dominic with the inaudible line where Michael Cole says, well, I don't know if you could hear him or not, but he said that he's going to stay in the back and let Rey go out there and he's going to watch him. So Dominic's not going to accompany Rey Mysterio out to the ring. Okay, great. Once again, sound guy, great job. We couldn't hear him. He wasn't properly mic'd up. You had the microphone, the bad positioner. Like, what is going on? Like, first of all, you're in a controlled environment with the Thunderdome, and somehow you fuck that up. You're back on the road again, and you fuck it up again. I mean, the audio's been better, but, like someone's put in the comments before, it's Brad versus the Smackdown audio. All the time with these guys, with their shit-ass audio. And I don't get it. We're talking about a $1 billion company now. Even if you're $1 million company, hell, even if I'm watching, NWA Power and seeing, no sound problems. Even AEW, as shitty as that crap is, doesn't even have these audio issues. Maybe they do. It's been a while since I've watched, but I don't know. But anyway, Nakamurphy is giving up the crown, and he says, don't refer to me. Well, they actually didn't really show Nakamurphy, just still photos of him giving it up. He says, call me Intercontinental Champion Nakamurphy, or Nakamura, for being accurate here. So that's going to be real interesting when Boogs has to come out to, announce him. He can't say King Nakamura. He just can't do that anymore. I don't know. It remains to be seen, but so when we talk about this guy, now we have to say that whole line, Intercontinental Champion Nakamurphy. We can't just say, it's Nakamurphy and he has the Intercontinental Championship. Like, we got to say that whole line. That was just kind of bizarre to me. Like, this is just one of those things where they just have to give everyone a nickname, even if, here the nickname actually fits. And funny thing is, it's so weird because he's not even, I didn't even think of it that way. Like he was the king of the ring. It's just like the king gimmick just kind of got to his head and he started referring to him as like a king. Like, I didn't realize this was like a title. Like, I don't remember Ken Shamrock when he won King of the Ring in 1998. He didn't have to give the crown to Billy Gunn when he won it in 99. And this is the other thing we're going to talk about here. Rey Mysterio and Sami Zayn. We're talking about two guys here. Sami Zayn, how long has he been in this company? How long has he been on the main roster for? Since 2016? Something like that? Rey Mysterio, multiple-time world champion, won almost every single belt under the sun, has been there since 2002, and you're telling me that this guy has to be entered into a King of the Ring tournament? Wasn't this always supposed to be for the young up-and-comers who really hadn't accomplished a lot? you know, you could make the argument, well, okay, Billy Gunn was there for a few years, but, you know, outside of like a singles run, it kind of made sense to put him in there. But here we've got people who are veterans who've been in the business for 30 years, like Rey Mysterio, and this guy's being entered into the King of the Ring tournament. So Sami Zayn gets the win after Dominic tries to put the turnbuckle pad on, which Sami Zayn had removed during the match. I have to say, this was actually a pretty great match. You know, you had Rey Mysterio just with the silky smooth offense that he has, and you know Sami Zayn working well with him. You just take a look at someone like Rey Mysterio, and you see just how much better he is than all these other doofuses flipping around like utter morons. Just Rey Mysterio just showing why he deserves so much more than this. This stupid storyline where they couldn't even get it right. They couldn't even get the father-son tag team thing right. You know, after the Bulldog passed away, sadly, it ruined plans of, you know, of David Hart Smith and him doing their tag team, you know, father-son tag team, which was, you know, sad because that would have been great. But now here you have another run at that, and they completely fucked it up with overly scripted lines of, you know, Dad, I believe in you. Like, just totally artificial, totally, you know, overacted or underacted, however you want to refer to it as, segments involving these two. I mean, you know, and now we're gonna like work towards like a father-son rivalry. It just doesn't seem right, and it seems too soon. Like, this is how you're going to kick off Dominic's career. I guarantee you, if they get rid of Rey Mysterio in this storyline, you know, involving Dominic is not going to flourish. He's going to end up, like I said, like a David Flair, just going absolutely nowhere. You know, without a character or anything like that. I mean, first of all, Dominic is as boring as can be. He looks just boring as hell just looking at the guy. Plain, stone face, the outfit, just nothing is working with this guy. So the only thing, you know, keeping him, you know, grounded is Rey Mysterio. And they're going to, you know, do a feud, and obviously it's probably going to lead to Rey Mysterio leaving his side, and that's going to be the end of Dominic's WWE career as far as I see it. So we get Seth Rollins backstage, a great promo from this guy. I mean, I can't say it enough. I mean, the guy has just entered into a different vessel, it seems like. You know, a completely different dimension of who he is. The performance compared to what he was doing like a few years ago is just night and day. I mean, he has found his voice, he's found his character, facial expressions, everything is there, everything is clicking for me. You know, and someone did comment saying, oh, you know, after years of you bashing Seth Rollins, now you're going to be a hypocrite and say you like the guy? You know, this is the really funny thing about the YWC and the IWC, but I explained it in the reply. You know, and I get that that's what people expect out of the YWC, and, you know, I'm going to just assume that this is a person. Well, obviously, they're a long-time viewer, but sometimes I don't know what it is. I guess they need to be, someone needs to explain this to them, that opinions are not forever. You know, some people might be like that way. You know, when they get their mind set on something, there's no way that they're going to change their minds. And I had something very interesting here, you know, that I spoke about. If you look at the video I posted right before this one, Asking Alexandra's new album, this band disappointed me a few times in a row already with albums that I just did not care for. A new album just came out recently, which I reviewed, as you can see in that video. And I said that, you know, these albums weren't for me. I did not like them. But then they released this new album, and I listened to it, and I sort of liked it. I thought it was not really what I was looking for, but it was decent, and I enjoyed it. And then I went back and I listened to the other albums, and I had a change of heart. I was like, well, this is not really as bad as I remember it. So you see, the human mind is capable of changing. It is, that's the beautiful thing about the way of thinking, the beautiful thing about human beings. That, a thought cannot be forever. It can sometimes be if you're a fucking idiot and you just never change your mind about certain things, despite there being evidence that something is good and you should like it. You're fighting that natural instinct that's telling you that something's good just because you want to maintain a foolish narrative. I could be like that. I could be, like a JD, and I could say WWE bad, AEW good, and just offer, just no explanation for why something is so much better, when there's nothing there to support that claim. So when I have reason to state that Seth Rollins is better now and that I like him because he made the effort to alter his character to be a better individual in the wrestling world with better presentation, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to maintain the narrative, just constantly sit here making silly Seth Rollins sounds all the time? If he's not saying goofy shit and he's saying good shit and he's doing good shit and not doing bad shit, then that means that I should say good shit about him, right? I think so. That would probably make the most logical sense. But instead, I don't know. I suppose there's some people out there that just want me to keep coming on here and bashing something when it doesn't deserve to be bashed, when it shouldn't be bashed, when it should actually be praised. Now, I said, I prided myself on here. I damn well know that if I praise the hell out of this show, and I only complimented certain people on here and, made up fallacies saying, oh, this would be so much better if they gave Finn Balor the World Championship. I know for a fact I'd probably get more views. I'd probably have more of a following. I probably could grow the channel bigger than that. But I'm not going to do that because it would not feel right. There's no way I could sit here and lie to the viewing audience and lie to my subscribers who have sat there and they've watched my thoughts evolve over the years, how I've, developed new thoughts and haven't maintained this silly, flatlined perspective on everything. And I suppose there's some people that feel that way. If you feel that way, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but that's never who I've been, and I never will be that way. So I just had to explain that. So yeah, great promo from Seth, I thought. Zelena Vega defeated Toni Storm. And there's a few things here that I have to state. A lot of people have said, Toni Storm is a good-looking girl. Why they would dress her in these long pants like this and not put her in the shorts and then trot her out there only to get beat by Zelena Vega. So you have your new girl that, hot-looking girl. I mean, it seems like could go places with her and everything. And, you're building, you first of all, you've debuted her. She's, not there. Then they debut her again. She's not there again. She's kind of doing these random appearances and they're not really staying consistent with her. And I'm just like, what? And Zelena Vega's getting beat left and right. Her re-debut, her return for Zelena Vega, she gets beat. So she gets her first, she beat Liv Morgan, right? So that was her first single win in God knows how long. And then we got Toni Storm. And beating Liv Morgan's not a big accomplishment, but now she beats Toni Storm. And I'm saying to myself, okay, so you brought this girl back, you made us believe that this girl ain't worth a damn. You're bringing her back, whatever you want to punish her. You give her a job back, but you want to punish her by keep beating her constantly. But then when you give her a win, it's against a person that probably shouldn't get beat. But I don't know. I guess they don't have any plans for Toni Storm. I don't know how you look at that and say you don't have any plans for that. And I'm not talking about make her the women's champion, make her the queen of the ring, respect her athletic ability. I'm just saying you'd probably want to feature her more prominently than you are. I don't know. I'm just saying with Zelena Vega, I don't really see a lot there, like I said. Her cartoonish villain promos are certainly not getting it done. Like you said, you've got two looking good girls here. It's like, and, all you get is just a match in a tournament. And I mean, I don't really see where this is going. Like the queen of the ring, they're going to have one of these girls walking around and you already have a queen. You have Charlotte. So you're going to have another queen on top of that? I don't see the logic in that. Because this is how it always goes. And Sergio Flores pointed this out on Facebook. It's going to be a heel on both sides. We all know this. It's going to be a heel. Booker T, Wade Barrett, Baron Corbin. I mean, don't you see here, like every single time someone wins King of the Ring, they automatically, take it literally. Like they're supposed to be the king. Remember when Kurt Angle did it? He did for a few weeks. He'd walk around with the crown and the cape on, but it was a joke because it was supposed to be nerdy. And they said no one has actually put that crown on in years. But for some reason, he actually puts it on. And, for a while, we had King Sheamus, right? But they called him King Sheamus for a while, but they did not have him actually do the gimmick. So yeah, there was one exception to the rule, but more times than not, the modern day, very sporadic King of the Ring tournament that they do, they have them actually altering their gimmick to fit the win. And I don't understand why it has to be that way every single time. And, after a while, that's kind of like why they got rid of the King of the Ring tournament, because they never really needed this tournament. It was kind of just like something that they did to kind of better somebody, kind of get without giving them a title, give them a boost. And a lot of times this would lead to something more, to something bigger for that talent. But more times than not, every single time they've done it, it goes nowhere. Did it do anything for Corbin? No. Did it do anything for Wade Barrett? No. So, I'm just a little bit curious. And, in the case with Sheamus, he had already won the world title. And they're like, give him the King of the Ring. It just makes no sense to me. There's no purpose to it. Why are we even doing it? It's just, I guess, nostalgia, sort of. And I'm also looking at the thrones that they have set up. They're not even thrones. They're like chairs in the food court. Did you see that? They're like just metal chairs. They don't even look like thrones. They don't look like royal thrones or anything like that. It looks like the saddest, most pathetic attempt at doing a throne I've ever seen. So anyway, I mean, yeah, that was a big surprise to see her actually win and Storm get beat. We get Roman Reigns and coming out to the ring, Usos in tow, along with Paul Heyman. So Roman wants Roman wants Heyman to admit in the ring that he had something to do with Brock being a free agent. And so he says he wants him to turn to the camera, and say to Brock, that he had nothing to do with it. And, there was some tension being felt, but, it's nice to see Heyman not do his normal spiel for a change. I mean, just think years and years of just all that wasted time of the undisputed, undefeated, heavily, of the Brock Lesnar thing constantly. And, Heyman showed that he could put on a decent performance, but he kind of goes from like just way too over the top at times. I don't know what it is. I said this time and time again, and I know there's going to be people in the comments. I've seen them rearing their ugly heads again of like, stop living in 2001. If the product was good and it was actually doing something to actually make me want to praise it on the whole, then I wouldn't need to keep on referencing Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era. People complain, oh, you reference the Attitude Era all the time. So I reference the Ruthless Aggression Era, and I even referenced even beyond that at times, and that's still not good enough for people. Don't compare anything to the past. Can't do it because, we have to like hide the fact that this is shitty for some reason. Or in this case, not as good, because it definitely wasn't shitty. But I'm just saying, why Heyman was like one of the best color commentators in 2001, and now at times he could be like completely unbearable. Like, what happened? Why is the performance so different? Why can't we get that Heyman that we had, like a few decades ago? Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, that Heyman's in there somewhere, and we did see a little bit of that Heyman here, but perhaps not enough. And I thought it was all right. I liked the tension, how Roman was making Heyman feel uncomfortable. And when Heyman started doing that whole, I did kind of like how he was saying like, oh, why would we do this if, that wouldn't be my plan. The plan would be to make you feel like you'd go in there and you would actually beat Brock Lesnar. But like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I thought it was funny, but it's also like kind of cartoonish and kind of going off the rails at the same time. But for the most part, I thought it was pretty good. It's just, I think a lot of times it's just the performance just goes too far at times. It doesn't stay grounded with Heyman. And we kind of get this like kind of a mixed bag in a way. I mean, there's some good storytelling here, I think. I really do. And it's making me really... So this is the effective storytelling. And this is what I do like what they're doing with the Roman Reigns character. Even as they said, it's rare to see Reigns get in the ring on SmackDown. They kind of keep him there, like on the side waiting for the pay-per-view. And, they build the story around him. And that is why he's the most effective character on the screen. And he actually gets to do the least amount of work. Because him standing there with the aura around him, and him having the look, and him having the presentation, and him having, the best story. I mean, this is a pretty decent story. We didn't really have great stories like with Kevin Owens and stuff, but, I think this is why, you do have the higher ratings here on SmackDown, because, I mean, there is interesting stuff going on with Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins is backstage with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, and he's asking where Edge is. Why is he not showing up? You've got more of Adam Pearce doing the classic mouth open. You've got Sonya Deville rolling her eyes, just looking like a complete moron. Just both of these goofballs, like, they're officials, but they're not like commissioners. Like, this is just, to me, they're the oddest of oddities. Like what are they doing on the show? It was the weirdest transition that, Adam Pearce wasn't even anointed this role of official. He just showed up one time, he was tasked with, delivering a letter to Bray Wyatt, and all of a sudden he magically transformed into an official. I don't get it. Anyway, we got Carmilla defeating Liv Morgan in what was probably one of the most... this was probably one of the dumbest matches I've seen in quite some time. I mean, I don't even know, like she's scared that the mask is being taken off her face, even though, like we're saying, like, even Michael Cole is saying to McAfee, like, this mask provides no protection at all. I don't know why you'd want to cover up a good-looking face. You know what I'm saying? It's just stupid to me. I mean, this is where we're going with this tournament. You know, we already had these established stars. She's already won the women's championship, Carmilla. And we're having all of these players where they've been there for years and years and years. And they're missing the point of what the King of the Ring is supposed to be, this up-and-coming type of tournament. And, you know, we've gotten away from that idea. I get it. But, like, what is the point? Is that all this tournament is for now, is to transition somebody into being a character that has been played to ad nausea? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, you know, so yeah, more of the mask bullshit. Mace cuts a promo. This was probably one of the most generic promos I ever heard. I don't really see anywhere going for this former Retribution member. The face paint, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's like, you know, that's kind of how it goes now. Oh, what? You're not getting over? Just put a little paint on your face. So, I don't know why they split up Mace and T-Bar, but sure enough, they did. And, you know, they weren't doing anything as a tag team. And I guess now Mace could look forward to not doing anything as a singles competitor either. Then we get this announcement that it's going to be Happy Talk, and the Street Profits are going to be on it. So we've got Madcap, Moss, and Corbin coming into the ring, and Madcap, you know, does another one of his stupid puns. And I mean, I thought that it kind of was funny because I'm a fan of puns and everything, but they made this, he repeats the joke a few more times. They laugh maniacally. Then Kevin Owens comes in. They beat up Kevin Owens. Moss hits a neck breaker on him, and that's it. Street Profits don't come out. They don't even make the save. They were announced to be on the show, but they never showed up. And I had a feeling that they weren't going to. I was like, they're not going to show them, are they? And they're not going to even comment on that. Like, how are they not going? You know, they're the baby faces. They're not going to save babyface Kevin Owens. They're like, nah, I'm good. Like, what happened there? I mean, this right here, you want to talk about sloppy. You just announced prior that you're going to have the Street Profits on the show, and they don't even show up at all. There's not even any mention of why they're there, why they're not there. Okay, backstage, we get Naomi talking to Sonya and Scrap Heap Adam Pearce. She's not entered into the Queen of the Ring tournament. For some reason, she's angry about this. I mean, I'd be happy if I wasn't added into the tournament. I mean, if the prize waiting at the end is that stupid cape and crown and you have to make that into your gimmick, I would be just quite all right with not winning or even being entered in the first place. But Sonya says that she's going to face off against Naomi next week. So we're getting this match, and, you know, I thought we were going to have some big build-up. This was going to be the Austin versus McMahon of our time. Ooh, oh, same energy. But, I mean, is anyone looking forward to seeing Sonya Deville wrestle again? Because I'm not. I thought they were going to tell a little bit of a story with having Naomi escorted out from the ring. You know, they did kind of have some interesting vibes going on there, but now it's just going to be a normal wrestling match. Finn Balor defeats Cesaro in another King of the Ring match, and I mean, you want to talk about two bland guys going at it with no character or any charisma. I mean, Finn Balor gets the win after the stomp. I mean, wow, just a plain boring as hell match right there. And you know, not that it was like super long, but this thing went on for about like 8 minutes, and I'm just kind of sitting there being like, wow, this is the plain boring AEW style match of just it's wrestling. We must respect it because it's wrestling and it's pure and there's no gimmicks. I mean, just lousy. And here we go again. I mean, Finn Balor, you know, he has a world title match. And now he has to be entered into the King of the Ring tournament. You know, I mean, honestly, this guy who's about to be 40, I don't know if he's even hit that. Now they're going to enter him into the King of the Ring tournament. Cringy Lynch is backstage. They finally get, you know, she's doing more of her bad acting. And we finally get the signature of the contract. And then she just stuffs it into Scrap Heap's crotch. And, you know, he got hit by a... and he sold the impact on the crotch quite well, I have to say. Then we wrap things up with Seth Rollins in the ring. He's still challenging Edge to a match, but he's not accepting. Edge finally pulls up at the arena. He comes out, he spears Rollins, attacks him some more on the outside. And then Rollins runs up the ramp, and Edge gets on the mic and says there's going to be a Hell in a Cell match between the two of them. Is this going to be a crown jewel? I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it made sense to have, you know, Edge being fuming mad, and he sold the anger quite well. Rollins again on the mic, you know, kind of talking down to Edge. I mean, you know, again with the word coward, the most overused word in the wrestling vocabulary, but you know, a decent way to wrap up the show, I guess. And you know, this show just as an overall was just a complete train wreck. As I said, besides Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Edge, I mean, you just had this worthless King of the Ring tournament that and Queen of the Ring tournament also. That just means nothing. Everyone who's been entered into it is already an established star. It makes no sense, but I could go on and on about that. Yeah, not a good show at all, guys. Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell to get all notifications when I post all my new videos. Thank all my patrons for continued support. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.